Let me first start by introducing myself. For those of you who are new to me and you don't know who I am, my name is Jacqueline Hopper. I'm a psychic empowerment coach and energy healer. I help people rediscover their spiritual gifts, tune into their intuition, begin to emerge manifesting the lives that they always knew that they were meant to have, but were a little unclear as to how to manifest. I also help spiritual entrepreneurs step into businesses that thrive, that bring them the ideal clients that they desire, and that makes the impact they came here to make. So it's super, super exciting. And it is what's been at the forefront of our reality right now. A lot of heart-centered, service-oriented entrepreneurs stepping forth because they feel the pull, the tug on their heart space to be of service in some way. And that is really what the purpose of all of this was on a collective and conscious level. It was to help us feel and tune into our heart spaces and to begin to operate from that space. No longer tuning or giving more power away to the ego with like regards to hustle energy, chasing energy, like that harsh, rough, do type energy. This is really allowing us to take some time to notice that when we step back and go inward and do work on us, we can peacefully emerge at a higher vibration, be of impactful service to those around us, and be compensated for that. And oftentimes we're compensated beyond what we were expecting. And the other thing that they're showing me right now, actually, is that compensation is going to look different. And through our experiences, what we've been asked to do is really find the gratitude and the silver lining through it all. Well, what they're also showing is that through all of that and eyes wide open to the gratitude and the big cause and effect of it all, when we come through this, and we are coming through this, we're going to begin to understand that it's not about money. It's not about material things, and that everyone is equal, no matter what the purpose is that they have stepped into. You know, I think it's a chuckle, but it's serious in the sense that we never thought toilet paper makers were going to be such a big deal. They're a hot commodity right now, right? And it just goes to show you, before all of this, maybe there was makeup people or makeup industries that were of a hot commodity, where it's totally shifted. You see, and there's not one industry, there's not one purpose, there's not one being here greater or lesser than another, and that we are all equal. And we're really beginning to see this for ourselves. We're really beginning to understand for ourselves that, you know, I believe at the end of the day, we can show up to a world with a fake mask or a fake facade. And when things like this take place, or when things like this happen, it doesn't hurt anybody on the outside to think you're having a wonderful time. It's this, you've got to go inward and acknowledge that you really aren't having this best experience or this wonderful time, and that there is fear that exists for you. And even though you put that mask out for the others to see, or even though you put that tough front up and you hide behind that tough front, like, I can't let people see me vulnerable, I can't let people see me in fear, I can't let people see me scared. At the end of the day, you're alone, isolated with yourself. And having now had an opportunity to really go inward to investigate, what is it that's working for me and what is it that's not? What's really truly important to me and what's really truly not? You know, showing up and letting everyone believe that I have this magnificent and wonderful life, you know, might not be the best way about going about it, because right now that's not helping or serving people. It's actually, it's what makes people that much more anxious, or that much more, you know, turned off. What really, really, really is necessary is that we all show up with that vulnerable side and that honest side and that service side, and recognize that people really need to see the truth of it all, and no longer hiding behind fake facades and fake masks and projected things that we want others to see. We really, truly want the connection again. And that's what that old world was all about. That's what that old paradigm was what was in place. There was this fakeness about some of the energy. It was this, you know, skirting around healing that really had to be done. It was this, you know, pathway of what was most important that when we're cut from that pathway, oh my gosh, we've got to reroute. We've got to find a new direction. We've got to tune into a new way of being. And in doing so, discovering the truth of what's important, the truth of what can't be taken away from us ever. And giving more new world unfolding is really all about. It's about maintaining that state of moving slow, but not at a low vibration. It's about taking time to investigate the next steps ahead, to really take time to go inward and navigate the feelings around taking that next step. Is it aligned with me? Is it not aligned with me? How do I truly feel about it? How am I not really feeling about it? So that we give ourselves that buffer and we are making more aligned choices as we emerge. And this space is giving us that time. It's giving us a very amazing awareness of what we have taken for granted in that old version. And when we come out of this, the real deal things that we are excited to be able to engage in once more. It's also giving us this space to go in and really evaluate what have we been doing that we've been able to not do and survive. What have we been doing? Some are working from home and never thought that that could be an opportunity or a way to get things done, and it is. How can we build upon that? How can we see that maybe that's the way I want to show up moving forward? What is it about the old that you can bring in and observe, not attach yourself to and get all feel about, but observe for right now? What is it about the old way that worked for you or didn't work for you that you could tweak right now so that you can make it a better experience moving forward? What is it that you found you are so much more grateful for throughout this whole thing? That's the stuff that you want to get excited about experiencing again. All of these are coming from the heart. And that's really what the universe is asking us, guiding us, forcing us really to dip into. We can't figure this out up here. And so many are trying to come up with an answer, figure something out. And it's not about this up here, it's about this down here. That's what this is about. And when we tip out of here, placing hearts or placing hands on our hearts, one of the amazing ways of dipping out of the head and tuning into the spirit, the soul, the heart space, to gain the answers from here. We want answers from here. We don't want answers from up here. Okay? Oftentimes these are linked to the ego's way of the way it should be done, the way it should look, the way it should show up. You understand? So this is where it's at. This is also creating a unity of humanity that allows us to see that no one person or position is more vital or essential than another, that all are important, that all play a major role in this physical experience. And we can become more grateful for that physical role that people play, more grateful for the way that they show up, okay, to serve us moving forward, serving us to help us grow, to help us expand, to give us new experiences from a different space of being. Coming together to deepen our communication and connection to others, whether we're related to them or unrelated to them, to, if we're aware, help us put what matters up front and center, and as well as the gratitude, we went over this, the gratitude, the well-being, and the self-care. Self-care. So many got into this rut or this groove, they thought, of being out there doing things and then coming home and they were being at home and doing things and, working for other people, working from a space of needing to show up for other people, making things better for other people, and very rarely taking time to work on themselves. Self-development, spiritual development, self-love, self-care, self-healing. And now a lot of things have been pushed out of our experience for us. We're not able to engage with those friends as much as we were. We're not able to engage with those relatives or loved ones like we were. We're not able to go to the experiences such as work and, shopping malls and things of that nature. We're not able to do as much of that. And if you think about it, in doing all of that, we were engaging with other energies. And when we compile a lot of energy, in our day without being mindful that I've taken on or left some of my energy with them. I picked up some of their energy as well. We're not navigating in our energy. We're navigating an energy that is affected by someone else's fear, someone else's anxiety, someone else's impression, someone else's way of showing up that might not actually even be real. We make choices in that energy that aren't then aligned with us. We engage in activities that aren't for our highest good. And when those are removed and we're really forced to look at us and the, intimate, real deal, up front and center things, here's where it gets interesting, yeah? But here's where we're trying to become more present, yes, and grounded. And quickly we learned what was important and what wasn't important. So long, so many of us thought we needed. Jackie thinks she needs Starbucks. I need it. No, guys, don't understand. Please open this back up again. I need this. Can't breathe. But it's not. It is absolutely 150% not a need. It's a want, a desire. And the universe is showing us what we really truly need, how little we really truly need to thrive. When we recognize how little we actually need to thrive, we take the pressure off of ourselves to show up and perform. When we take the pressure off of ourselves to show up and perform, we then are led from our heart space because there's no attachment to outcomes. There's no, what do you want? How do you say that? There's no ulterior motive. Thank you. There's no ulterior motive. You're showing up because you know that what it is you're doing is important, that what it is you have to say is important, that what it is you have to share or what it is you know you need to do is important. And very little needs to be had to thrive and to show you where you can show up and be of great service. There's a complete difference between needing something and wanting something. And we are being shown exactly what the differences are in our everyday lives right now. Does that mean that we should never want? Does that mean we should never have desires? Absolutely not. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And spiritual beings don't even have to really think the thought through before. And it's interesting because I am a follower. I follow Marianne Williamson on her Instagram page, I believe, maybe even on Facebook, but this was Instagram, where she was talking about divine compensation and about how this new world that is emerging is going to be one that is totally different than what we saw before. And we have to embrace it. We want to get excited about it because it's going to be a lot more, if we are aware and we allow it, one of integrity, because we're coming from a space of, I've really thought this through and this is exactly what it is that I want. I know that this is a desire. I know I don't need to do this. I know I want to do this. And it's there's such a greater effectiveness to it. Such a greater effectiveness to this. And in the spiritual realm, there's a thin veil between the physical reality and the spiritual reality. And the universe is always balanced. So when it feels as if the physical world is not balanced, the spiritual realm makes up for it. When it feels like we aren't receiving things as we're supposed to, when it feels like something's being withheld from us for some reason, the spiritual realm is amping up. It's really beginning to show itself to us in different ways to help us recognize that we need to trust more, perhaps, or that we have to have more faith, or that we really need to lean into the support, because the energy of feeling supported by the universe is priceless. The energy of feeling supported by the universe is priceless. You can't put a figure on it. You can't put a number of, what we used to trade back in the day before when we were bartered, animals. You can't put enough barrels of tea or barrels of coffee or barrels of cows, or you can't put a figure in any way, shape, or form on the value of feeling connected and supported to the universe. And the really amazing, spectacular thing to realize is that you always are connected to the universe. You're never not connected to the universe. But we've given so much more value to the physical world. We've given so much more belief that this stuff is so real and so obvious that we've taken the real and the faith and the trust and the support that we should be tuning into on the universal side out of it. And higher selves, spirit guides, archangels, ascended masters, source himself, they're all there. And they're not to berate us or beat us up. They're not over there making jokes, cracking jokes. Even though we see memes like our spiritual guides are rolling their eyes at us, going, when is this girl going to get it? It is absolutely not like that at all. There's no level of, like, I can't even express the patience. It's just an automatic thing. And there's never, ever any type of criticism or complaint, because what we're doing here is tough stuff. There are some spiritual energies that won't come forth into the physical world. We were brave and courageous to come here and experience this. They need us just as much as we believe we need them. Because in our growth and our learning and our expansion, we're helping them learn and grow and expand too. We're taking all of what we've learned throughout all of this life's experience back. And the beautiful thing that we should all high five ourselves for, and each other, is the fact that we saw this life's projection before we came and we said, no, I signed up for that. That looks like a ride. Let's go. Knowing that we would have other spiritual beings to lean in and lean on and get support from and have lessons learned from and have painful experiences with and traumas with and struggles with and challenges with. We knew all of this was going to be a thing, and we still signed up for it. Rock on. Rock on. Because we came here to sift through this and go, ooh, I forgot for a moment that this really isn't real, and that I can close my ego eyes. The eyes that show me a physical world, I can close them and I can tune into the spiritual realm that is more tangible, more real, more present, more loving, more blissful than anything I could set my ego eyes on. And when we begin to use this, which is always connected to this, powerful experiences take place. And that's where we are right now. And that's what we want to remember moving forward. It's not the fake facades we see with these ego eyes. It's not the fear tactics used to get us to conform to a way of being. It's not about that. It's about us going in and reclaiming the personal power that exists within us all, that is linked to our ability to appreciate our experience. That can never be taken from you. Never. That can never be taken from you. The blissful things, the most amazing experiences that you've had in your lifespan, the memories that you've had, the things that you're grateful for, the things that you are dreaming about that you've not spoken out loud, none of that can be taken from you, and they really are the sweetest things. This new world that's unfolding is going to be one that we're going to see. We can't figure out up here, but we can begin to have mold from here. You can mold a new way moving forward. You can create a new way moving forward. And any time that your ego says that's impossible, that can't happen, you're dreaming dreams that are of, fairy tales, you want to remind the ego that the experience that we're all in right now, no one would have ever, this is cray-cray. No one ever would have said, oh, let's create a virus that my 10-year-old thinks it's funny, because most kids think this was created by a 4th grader. Because schools were canceled. There was a run on toilet paper. We got to finally wear the masks. Ha 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 ha. There's a lot of jokes about this in my house. There's seriousness, trust me, about it all. I trust me, but there's still funnies about it, because really, you look at this, it's kind of ha-ha. If no one would have thought this up, no one would have dreamt this up. Anybody you would have tried to explain this to, they would have been like, you're nuts. That's like never gonna happen. And yet here we are. Anything is possible. And this is really what the universe is trying to get us to just hook in just a bit. I promise if you hook in just a bit to this belief that I can create anything and I can experience anything, and that I'm the authority of my world. Nothing outside of me gives me pause or gives me permission or makes me happy or makes me not happy. Nothing outside of me does that. I am the authority. I am the one that gives the permission. I'm the one that's going to say I'm going to worry about this today or not. I'm the one that's going to find the silver lining and get so grateful for it. How many of us are going to emerge and love our neighbors differently? Hug the first person that's a stranger that we see? How many of us are going to hop in our vehicles and love the experience to go wherever we choose? How many of us is going to hop on a plane to go see your best friend that you didn't get to go and see because of all of this? How many of you are going to travel more? How many of you are going to dream more? How many of you are going to feel free? And in that freedom space, you're going to know what it feels like. But guess what? We didn't have to have this to feel free. We could have tuned into the energy of freedom anytime we wanted to and created things to feel more free about. This is happening for us. And if we are conscious about this and we stay aware of things, and if we are grounding our newfound beliefs about reality and our new space of wanting to come forth emerged from my heart space, if you'll stay grounded into that and you'll ask for assistance from the universe, they've never been more present, the guides, you are going to find an experience that is going to be far greater than the one you were having before all this took place. And how fantastic and amazing is that going to be? To engage with others that slow down and really take time to listen. When you engage with family members that are really feeling grateful for your presence. You see, it's not just about you. If you'll do this work and your neighbor will do this work and your best friend will do this work and your parents or your siblings or your children or your spouses will do this work, imagine what these reunited unions are going to feel like. Imagine the connections that are going to be so much greater and deeper. And after going through all of this, won't you be more mindful of what you give your energy to? Yeah. There's so many people that have said if when we get through this, I'm not fearing anything ever again. There's not. Nope. When I see myself out of this, there's going to be less to be scared of. There's going to be way more experiencing. There's going to be, if I'm scared, I'm walking through it and getting it done. Like I'm not holding myself back ever again. Huge realizations are happening and occurring and being experienced right now, so that when we all step out in what will never be normal, that right there, old world normal, blah, blah. We're talking newness, more excitement. It's going to be amazing if we allow it to be.